Right. Hello, hello, hello. Give me one sec. Um, wow, my camera is working today. That's crazy. Uh, cool. But yeah, welcome. Cool. So just kind of like one real piece of content I have really quickly. I don't know. I'm just gonna do simulated runs for like 2 hours, something like that. But yeah. So let's see if this works. Cool. The last one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The last motherfucking one. Confirm. Nice. I have officially beaten the game. That's crazy. And okay, let me turn these up a little bit. And that means the last superimposition. Cool. Finally, man. I've been waiting for this day. Break of by 41, the were user ultimate increase dealt by 48. And some energy. Cool. But yeah, cool. Now let me. I'm gonna have to do this shit again. Why can't I just like de-equip from here somehow? No. Okay, so Clara. Let's switch to this. You. No. Oh my god, I keep forgetting. Let's see. I need to get a perfect screenshot. Himeko, Sparkle, Kafka Black Swan, Welt. Okay. Himeko. Sparkle. Black Swan. Kafka. And Welt. Where's Welt? This guy. Cool. So now in the inventory they should be. S5. Everything. That's amazing. Okay, cool. Give me a sec.
Discard your worthless destiny. Memories seem to be different again.
Okay, and then let me post these.
Discard your worthless destiny. Discard your worthless destiny.
Alright, cool. Now we can do the rest of this. And I've also gotten the weekly rewards for other than these 2 tokens, because I'm waiting for World 9 to come out, and I'm gonna use the tokens on that. Because right now I don't need anything from anywhere else. Yeah, we're just gonna chill. Can still change their light cones. Whoops. Yeah, change to that. And change to that. And you two should be okay, yeah. Wait. Okay.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Yep, some speed and more speed. Okay, I just want to skip because it doesn't matter. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, I don't want to go that fast.
Make a wish.
A little something for him. Does that hurt?
If I just die.
Is this insignificant? All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Ill tidings meant.
Stand still.
Oh yeah, something like that. Cool. Okay, cool. Only one. Oh, why did I take this? I don't know if I'm gonna like the needed free fight to get that. Well, no, I will, but yeah.
Time to say bye. Boom. All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Ill tidings manifest.
Okay, cool. Let's see if there's been anything interesting going on today.
Stand still.
So for now, let's check out Twitter. Oh yeah, there was the new podcast. So there are actually two. There was oh my God, how do I go back? Okay. There was this one, and then this one. Hold up.
They don't look
Sounds
happy. Make a wish.
Does that hurt? Existence is human.
And this one.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye.
So yeah, so there was this by Mina Numi, which is pretty cool.
Ill tidings
Didn't really have time to finish watching everything. And then there was this one, Topped Up, by Ruby, Pokey, and Mina as well. That was pretty cool. This was funny, the Topped Up one. I know, for me it's like, I don't watch Numi, so I don't really know much about her, and yeah, otherwise it seems great. You know, some like actually like official, well, I don't know how they're gonna end up being, but like some official like gacha podcast. That's pretty cool. You know, but like people I actually watch, because I'm sure there's like some out there, right? But I don't watch them.
ill fate is said.
But yeah, there's obviously like the gacha podcast by Tacton and all that. But
Stand still.
it'd be nice if that was like more frequent or like more like standardized, because of right now it kind of sucks. But yeah, that's cool. What else? Anything interesting? Oh yeah, this thing. I saw this on stream.
All will be swept away by the wind.
The Hoyoverse creator.
Beneath the water
Other than
lies an
that,
endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
bro, over the weekend, I've achieved new brain rot. Oh my god, this is like professional arm wrestling. And like I was just scrolling on shorts, and like these start like coming up one after the other. And because I was watching them, actual videos like started popping up, right? So then what happened is I actually started watching those, and yeah, the rest is history basically. So that's fun. Not really. Kind of except the I'm on that, but it is cool though. I mean, it is interesting to watch. It's just like, you know, I could have done something else. But yeah. Yeah, professional artist. There's this guy, Devon Larat. How the fuck do you say his name? Larat? Something like that. And yeah, he's funny.
Don't look happy to see us.
Sound weird. Does that hurt? Return. All will be swept away
But yeah,
by the
it's funny
wind.
when like one of the like most charismatic guys is like the best in the world. It's always fun to watch that.
Lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Bro, you know what? This is like counter views that Pokey did. They're kind of dead, not gonna lie. I don't know. Don't really like them. They just take up so much time on the stream, right? When he could do something else. Like play Genshin, right? Because that's fun. It's actually been really good to watch him play Genshin. Because I never had that thing that like, you know, was fun and all that. For me, it just started because, oh no, my cousin was playing it, so it kind of made me play it, and then
All will be swept away by the wind.
then I can just kind of go hooked, right? Like with the whole story and all that, I started liking it more and more. But for me, it wasn't like at the beginning. I was like, wow, it's so cool, so crazy. It wasn't really like that. It was just, yeah, it's a game that I could play with my cousin, and that's about it.
Stand still.
Beneath the water
What
lies
else?
an endless abyss.
She on me. Yeah, she freak.
She a little freak, she for the streets. 6 digits on the check, took it to the bank.
Nice server. Baby No Money is so good. I used to listen to him a lot, especially like in the car when I'm driving, but not right now. But this run is taking its time. It shows that I have no
Time to say bye.
blessings. But oh well. What can you? What can you do?
The human body is beautiful in its fragility.
Bruh, I've wasted so much content by not reacting to this shit. There's things I could, but like the thing is, one, I'm not a new player, and two, I've watched them before on multiple occasions, so I don't, you know, I won't give a genuine reaction, so kind of dead, right? Oh, no, shoot. But yeah,
All will be
wait, the
swept
new
away by
solo
the
leveling stuff. It's like,
Beneath the water
Alright.
it's just early access, right? Yeah.
Time to say bye.
Because I looked, and people saying like you can play, but like I don't know how you can play this game. But yeah, I haven't watched anything. Apparently the gacha sucks in it. That's about it. Yeah, my surprise. But yeah. To be honest, after what happened to me a couple of days ago in Nikkei, with pulling for Amelia, I started to think that not even the Nikkei gacha system is that good. Obviously, well, surprise, but like, I don't know. Like, I was really like hyping up that gacha system, but maybe it's actually not all that. So yeah.
Make a wish. Does that hurt?
What else?
All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless
Barbaric manipulation. There's so much crazy shit that people do for you and stuff. I mean, you know, I guess there is that, but it's also funny, right? Like, you can turn it into like a funny thing. Oh, I actually go all free. That's crazy. Wow, another nihility. Oh.
Someone there.
Ayo, chill.
beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Wait, what's
All will be swept away by the
okay?
wind.
Why the fuck do we have acheron voice lines? It's kinda cringe. Bro, like, I still don't believe all that shit about like the like okay, yeah, it's gonna do 35% more damage, but acheron is gonna, like, you're gonna do 35% more damage over a fuck ton of damage, so like that's still a fuck ton of damage, so it doesn't matter. It's like, yeah.
Existence is limited. All will be swept away by the wind.
Stand still.
Bro, Payday 3 is such a scam. Oh my god. Man, and I bought the gold edition and I haven't bought that game since like it came out. I hate, oh my god, these like new releases.
Make a wish. Does that hurt?
So I trust like Azure Promelia and like modern ways to make a better game than fucking
All will be swept
Payday,
away by the
whatever the name was of the developer.
Beneath the water
That's,
lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Anything else crazy? Yeah, she's funny as fuck. Good bunny. But it's not really that she's funny. She's just like, she makes content of all of the content in the game, while alongside doing like the whole challenge thing, right? Which is just sick. I don't know. I like that. I haven't watched her like Purple's Only thing. I think I only watched like episode 2, yeah. But otherwise, I watched all of Blue's Only. That was so good. Well, other than the new ones, because apparently there's new ones. But yeah, she's worth checking out. Hello, I'm Blue. That's like her intro. It's pretty funny. Okay,
Hey
no, I
guys,
haven't
Mr.
watched
Pokey
this.
here,
Let's watch
back
this.
with another video, and today
I'm
we're
low-key
going to be
interested.
going through the Acheron's pre-release analysis, since Miho decided to drop down the teaser for a kid really early, even revealing her light cones. So we're gonna get that out of the way, and without further ado, let's get into today's content.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Tracers, right? And first of all, it's gonna be the red Oni. When a battle starts, immediately gain certain number of slash dream and apply certain number of crimson knot stacks to a random enemy. When slash dream reaches upper limit, for every point of slash dream that exceeds the limit, gains one stack of a quadrivalent ascendance, up to a maximum number of quadrivalent ascendance stacks. Okay, chat, before we even continue any further, right, I feel like you guys need to understand what is slash dream and what is crimson knot. Because if you guys don't understand, it's just like a whole lot of yapping that doesn't really, you guys don't really know what's going on, right? So
Yeah, blood is just yapping, right?
essentially,
That's crazy.
slash dream, I'm just gonna cut right down here. You'll understand from the ultimate. Alright. Slash dream is basically tied to this, the ultimate, right? You can only cast the ultimate upon 9 stacks of slash dream. You gain slash dream with this, right? When slash dream reaches the upper limit, which is 9, because we have seen from the trailer this literally says 9 over here, right? So when this reaches 9 stacks, you can then cast the ultimate, right? Then Crimson Knot, it's a stack of debuff, right? You can see that when one stack of Crimson Knot will be inflicted, blah blah blah. Okay, we don't really care about this for now, but just know that you can cast the ultimate when you reach 9 stacks of slash dream. And then when you cast the ultimate, then it'll basically remove all of the, like you can see over here, it'll remove all of the crimson knots, which is a debuff for itself, right? So that's basically something you need to know before we get ahead of ourselves. So that's basically the rate only. So basically what it says, when the battle starts, you start off with a certain number. It's kind of just like how every other unit, you start off with like half energy or whatever kind of energy. So she'll always start off with a certain number of slash dreams and a certain number of crimson knocks to a random enemy target, so you can get the battle rolling. So that's basically that. Now the second talent is gonna be the Abyss. When there are 1 or 2 nihility characters other than Acheron in the team, damage dealt by Acheron's basic attack, skill, and ultimate increased by a certain amount. Now, chat, this is going to be an extremely important trace to take note of, because from the wording itself, you guys can know that it is basically forcing Acheron to be tied to nihility teammates, because it says other than Acheron, right? Which means that most likely, if you want to achieve the maximum benefits, you will want to use 2 nihility characters with Acheron, which means that in the traditional team,
You know, it's crazy that they've built up, because like there's what, like 7 nihility characters or something? Like, yeah, they've like created so many nihility characters, and now they've released the nihility DPS basically. So it's kind of, yeah, like the DPS that relies on nihility characters. So you, either as a free-to-play or as like a whale, whatever, low spender, you still have, you know, all the choices available to you basically
building settings,
to make her work.
you are going to be running Acheron, 2
That's
nihility, and a sustain. Which means that Acheron's team building is really not as flexible as compared to a lot of our other hyper carries, which can pretty much use both harmony and nihility units, right? So there is one potential downside, but the upside is that this damage bonus, we might be able to see a very significant amount of damage bonus depending on what the multiplier is going to be like. But for such a limiting restriction, it's kind of like, you know, like Jujutsu Kaisen curse landing. If you curse yourself, the stronger the curse, not Jujutsu Kaisen, sorry, Chainsaw Man. The stronger the self-imposed curse, the stronger the power level, right? So with such a strong inhibitor to team building, we should be able to see a pretty sizable amount of damage multiplier increase based on the restrictions over here. But for that, we're gonna have to wait for future updates. And finally, Thunder Core. When the Rain Blade from Acheron's ultimate hits enemy targets with Crimson Knot, her damage increase. Once again, I have to mention Crimson Knot is the debuff. It's the debuff that she applies, right? Her damage increase staggered to a maximum number of times and lasting for a certain number of turns. When Stygian Research triggers, additionally deals damage to a certain number of times, each time dealing lightning damage and is viewed as part of the ultimate damage. Honestly, chat, don't have to overcomplicate things. Essentially, what this means is that when you cast your ultimate, you're going to be dealing tons of damage, right? There's not much to be played around here. It is basically saying that when you cast it on enemy with Crimson Knot, which definitely there will be things with Crimson Knot, you'll do additional damage. So you just upgrade this and you don't have to worry about it anymore. It doesn't really affect her mechanics. You don't really have to care about it that much. You will deal a lot more damage, right? So yeah, that's basically it. At a glance, it looks like she's one of the more complicated characters so far, because there's a whole lot of yapping from the traces alone. Let's just jump straight into the technique, right? The first of all is gonna be Quadrivalent Ascendance.
Oh, bro, have you run the run
Immediately
mace
attacks
skill?
enemies. Gains this and start every way, deal damage to all units, reduce toughness of all irrespective of weakness types, and it will trigger a lightning break. Now, the most important part is not this, right? You're probably going to use this to start the battle with MOC, all that kind of stuff. The most important part for my players who are dealing your overworld farming, for my players who are dealing with their simulated universe, it will instantly defeat them without needing to enter into battle. This
I can't wait.
changes everything. So instead of waiting for like 10, 20, 30, 40 seconds to deal with a single mob, now you literally eliminate them with a single click of a button. So this is genuinely one of, if not the best techniques that people who want to farm overworld, who want to farm Simulated Universe are gonna get. It's as good as it gets. I don't think it can get any better than this. The only downside is that it can't be used against trotters, like it was mentioned in the live trade event, and it can't be used against elites, right? Otherwise you'll just be completely broken. But other than that, excellent technique. I do want to say that you are probably going to be ending up using a lot of technique points, so do remember to craft this little technique point snack. My editor can show the picture over here. Basically, you can gain 2 technique points whenever you consume this, so do make sure to craft a lot of this if you guys are going to be conducting a lot of killing the overworld mobs and killing the Simulated Universe, right? So that is going to be her technique. And jumping to the basic attack, honestly, nothing much to be said over here. It's just a slapping an enemy with a massive katana, so nothing much. Talent. Now, let's dive into this a little bit further. When Slash Dream reaches upper limit, like I mentioned just now, you can use the ultimate. During ultimate, reduce enemies' toughness regardless of weakness types, and reduce all enemies all type rest, lasting until the end of the ultimate. This is the second time she changes everything. It means that no matter what is gonna happen, the ultimate is gonna be on element. It will always reduce the toughness bar, and it will cause rest penetration, right? It's gonna be as if Acheron has no weaknesses, which is absolutely insane, especially for new players, where elemental coverage is one of the new players' most difficult point when it comes to targeting endgame content, which is why I also recommended in my previous CN pulling opinions video. A lot of players in the CN community thinks that she's going to be extremely versatile, extremely strong, extremely valuable because of this ultimate. And why this is the case, why it's so strong, is that the ultimate, like you guys have seen from the live trailer, it is tied to the stacks you get from this, right? The Slash Dream, which is obtained from any debuff. Which also means that Acheron, when you're up against like specific scenarios, you're probably gonna very easily get a 2-turn, if not 1-turn ultimate, which completely just destroys everything. So it's just such a we really need to just see how much this ultimate damage is gonna be dealing. But for now, if from based on the live trade event, which she did, I think 300,000 over damage from a single ultimate, it's gonna be looking extremely powerful, right? So that's gonna be that. If the enemies what will be? Acheron gains 1 point of Slash Dream and inflicts 1 stack of blah blah blah. If debuffs are inflicted on multiple targets, then 1 stack of Crimson Knot will be inflicted on enemy target with the most Crimson Knot stacks. This effect can only trigger once every ability usage. This is pretty fair, because if we have like an AoE abilities in the future where like you cast like 20 different like minion debuffs, then Acheron just casts ultimate every half turn. Every single time, it just doesn't work that way. So this is a pretty good balancing. When Acheron is on the battlefield, when an enemy target leaves or enemy is defeated, Crimson Knot will be transferred to the enemy target. It is kind of like Black Swan's the thingy, I forgot what's it called. The Black Swan's thingy, or the Black Swan's DOT, but it can always be transferred and it's just never lost, right? So there will always be some kind of Crimson Knot until you cast ultimate to consume the Crimson Knot, which we'll be talking about later on. But first of all, the skill, gain 1 point on Slash Dream, which is basically the state required to cast the ultimate, and inflict 1 stack of Crimson Knot on a single target, deals lightning damage as well as a certain amount to adjacent target. No, this is 1 stack of Crimson Knot to a single target and not Crimson Knot to all 3 targets, right? So this is only for a single target, so do aim the main target you want with your skill. And finally, the ultimate. First of all, this is by far the best looking ultimate this entire game has to offer. I feel like they just went like all in on the ultimate budget over here. It's like, it used to be Blackstone's ultimate, and now Acheron's ultimate is literally a domain expansion, infinite meta or infinite cutting or whatever you call it, right? Delivers 3 Rain Blades and 1 Stygian research in succession. Enemies cannot be inflicted with Crimson Knot while under ultimate is active. Okay, so Rain Blade is the first 3 instances. Stygian Research is the last instance, right? So this Rain Blade, it is 3 single target damage and removes up to 3 stacks of Crimson Knot. When Crimson Knot is removed, deals lightning damage to all enemies. And with the additional damage I want to apply for this increase for every stack of Crimson Knot increase. So, what's a good example that I can think of? It is kind of like a DOT, but okay, it's kind of like you're putting like bombs on a target. You're putting bombs and you detonate those bombs using her ultimate. So the more Crimson Knot you apply, the more explosive the damage gets. And this Crimson Knot, when it explodes like little bombs, it'll affect all targets, right? So which is why even though this 3 Rain Blade is targeting a single target enemy, it will still deal AoE damage to everyone because of the little Crimson Knot, right? And then finally, Stygian Research is going to be biggest and damage all targets and removes all Crimson Knots, which means that whatever amount of Crimson Knots you have, by the time you use Acheron's ultimate, every single Crimson Knot will be gone, and then you have to just restart the cycle again. So the rotation of Acheron is basically, you apply Crimson Knot, you gain Slash Dreams. Upon every single 9 stacks of Slash Dreams, you cast ultimate, and the cycle just repeats itself. And the reason why this, okay, that's pretty much at the end, right? But before we talk about the Light Cone, the reason why this Acheron is looking to be so bloody strong is because there's a lot of ways you can apply debuffs in Honkai Star Rail. There's a lot of ways, right? You can go from the typical debuffs like defense down, speed down, attack down from Silver Wolf, Pella, all that kind of stuff. You can gain from the DOTs, gain from Kafka, gain from Sampo, gain from Queen Ifem, gain from Black Swan, all that kind of stuff. You can also gain it from enemy debuffs, such as even when the bugs explode, right? In the live trailer, they mentioned specifically when the True Swarm summons the little bugs and the little bugs explode and they apply a vulnerability debuff, that's also considered as a debuff, right? Your goldfish debuff, your dogs, when they die, they cause the bleed. There's so many things that cause debuff in this game, and that's only scratching the surface, right? There is not a Nihility unit that is specifically tied to dedicating itself to dealing like a significant amount of debuffs, with the exception of Silver Wolf. But the thing with Silver Wolf is that her kit is not really meant for debuff stacking. Her kit is really like the main kit for Silver Wolf is to implant quantum weakness or implant the right weakness for a DPS to deal damage. So I would dare say Acheron's best in slot Nihility support hasn't even been released yet, because Acheron herself, she doesn't give a flying about the weakness, since the ultimate ignores weakness typing. So imagine the future if we have another 5-star Nihility that just doesn't have the weakness implant, but instead just deals like applies a ridiculous amount of debuffs to the point where Acheron can cast the ultimate very consistently every turn. That will truly make Acheron a game-changing DPS, and I'm not even downplaying this. It is very scary how strong this unit can become based on the future units that we have. And even as of right now, the amount of debuffs we can apply with our teams and the enemy and the environment is proving to be extremely strong, looking for Acheron, right? I wouldn't be surprised if she is gonna be probably the strongest DPS upon release. So that is pretty much it for her overall pre-unit analysis. Now, jumping into her Light Cone. Along the passing shot. First of all, holy god, this Light Cone art is absolutely everything about Acheron so far has just been like, they really wanted this anniversary unit just go. They just went all out. They went all out for the thriller, they went all out for the units kit, they went all out for the animations, they went all out for the bloody Light Cone. Everything about Acheron, there is no quarter spec. Everything just goes all out for you. It's just absolutely insane. So, jumping into the ability. When the wearer's crit, increase wearer's crit damage by 36%. When the wearer hits the enemy target, inflict empty bubbles. Okay, I just want to say empty bubbles sounds like a very goofy name, right? For someone that's looking so badass, it's like, I inflict empty bubbles Okay, but anyways, lasting for 1 turn. This effect can be triggered 1 time against each target for every attack the wearer launches. The wearer deals 24% more damage to targets with empty bubbles, and damage from wearer's ultimate increased by 24%. Now, chat. I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but this light cone, it works so well with Acheron's kit that not having this light cone with Acheron will probably drastically reduce Acheron's performance. Not because of the crit damage, not because of the damage to targets inflicted with empty bubbles, and not because of the ultimate damage increase, but it is because of this right here. This inflicts a debuff lasting for 1 turn and can be triggered 1 time against each target for every attack the wearer launches. As you guys might know by now, debuffs, as long as you're applied, you gain 1 stack of slashed dreams. With this light cone alone, it will drastically increase Acheron's ultimate uptime. You pair this light cone up with your nihility units, like your Pella, like your Silver Wolf, your Kafka, your Blackstone, your Queen Eiffel, your Sampo, your Welt, your anybody, right? The amount of times Acheron can use her ultimate, it's literally as if you can run her in any scenarios, regardless of element, regardless of anything, because she's just gonna be casting ultimate so many times. And I would say this: if players do not want to pull for Acheron's signature light cone, I would strongly advise players to lower their expectations for Acheron. She is one of the few units that the signature light cone makes or break a target. I know most DPS now we have in Star Rail, having their light cone will make them a lot better, right? Jing Yuan without Before Dawn is kind of like goo gaga. Daughter ratio without the signature light cone is not bad, but the signature light cone really improves daughter ratio damage by a lot. Jing Liu's light cone, Blade's light cone, Imbibitor Lulin's light cone, pretty much every single DPS, the signature light cone drastically increases their damage output. And you guys can see from my video over here, your editor son, can you crop this part in, where I discuss should free-to-plays even consider pooling for light cones, right? So for Acheron specifically, this light cone is so important. It is not because of the additional crit damage or the damage. It's because it straight up changes her rotations from her ultimate. And this is a rolling basis, right? The more debuffs you apply, the more frequent you use the ultimate, and it just keeps rolling on and rolling on, to the point where without the signature light cone, you're probably losing anywhere between like 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 additional ultimates the longer the battle drags on. So I would say I would heavily advise players to consider getting Acheron with the signature light cone. And once you do get Acheron's signature light cone, so that's to say E0S1, she will most probably be our strongest E0S1 that Hongai Star has seen. And this is as of right now. We're not even considering the future development, the future prospects of like even stronger nihility units that you can pair up with Acheron, right? So based on right now, that is the pre-analysis. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And before we wrap up, we're just gonna go ahead and look at one of the video over here I put up. Excellent video from our CN community, and I'll be just roughly translating what they have mentioned about Acheron's pre-release as well. Right? So chat, this is basically from one of the largest CN content creators on Bilibili space. He makes excellent guides. So we'll just be reacting to the portion where with regards to the pre-release analysis for Acheron specifically, right? So that's gonna be there. Alright, so I'll just be doing like some live translation here. This is my first time trying this, actually my second time, but we'll just see how this goes, right? So without further ado, let's begin. Oh shit, I was playing this 2 times speed because I'm actually built different. So 黄泉并没有传统 is that she does not have traditional energy output. It is strictly tied to the slash dreams, right? So it's strictly tied to the slash dreams.
统意义上的能量，而是用黄泉头像旁边的花瓣来代替。
Yep.
仔细数一下就会发现，刚好有9片。在演示中呢，可以看到
So you
花
need
瓣都
9
亮
stacks.
起时，背后
Yep.
出现了一圈红色的光晕，然后就可以释放一个超级炫酷的大招
A
了。
super
大
cool
招期间的
ultimate.
背景会变为白色，只留下黄泉右臂
This
和
is
刀刃
just
的一抹红色，
simply
视线
for
就
the
仿佛
ultimate
停着
animation.
了一般。3道红刀斩完，再接一
Yes, he
刀，
did.
此刻寂灭之时。啊，不对，串台了。2.1的雷属性角色大招是一刀横斩，雷神我就知道是你。那看完这一个大招，一个字。
That was just a Genshin meme, right? This guy's pretty funny as well, right? That's a Genshin meme.
绝美。隔壁的西亚表示这个电焊工是一天也待不下去。
This is like comparing Acheron's ultimate animation with Scylla's ultimate animation. It's like warm situation. There's a warm situation for Scylla.
去了。那攒积花瓣的方法呢也很简单
Yeah,
那就是让敌人陷入负面状态。
So,
再
as
说
long
的
as you
简
get the
单点
stacks,
就是
it's
呢，黄
from
泉放了
giving
一点亮一
debuffs.
片，队友上负面
Using
也
a-
算是一片，
Yep.
甚至例如
So using your skill, you get 1 stack, right? So using your
黄泉
skill,
放了一点亮
you get 1 stack of the slash
一
dreams.
片，队友上负面也
Any of your allies applying debuffs also applies 1 stack, as we've seen from the trade just
算
now.
是一片，
As
甚
well as
至例如
all these enemies, your goldfish defense down, the dogs dying, the T-Rex getting the debuffs, the frigid prowler when he wants to eat an enemy mobs and doesn't eat an enemy mob and get the self-casted defense down. All these enemies will count as debuffs for Acheron, which will improve her slash dreams.
自爆减方的金鱼，2.0版本的汽水狗和爆炒龙，冰胖吸收衍生物失败，这些敌人的负面效果也
Yep.
可以给黄泉
All
叠
these
层。那
debuffs
光
is
锤呢？
applicable.
要知道托帕银狼卡夫卡的专属攻
Okay, this is basically the CN community. Okay, at this point when they released this video, it was before the actual Lightcone was released, right? So they're saying that if you don't have Acheron's signature Lightcone, all these negative Lightcones, they technically also apply debuff. Topaz Lightcone, Incessant Rain, and Kafka's signature Lightcone, you can see the effects, they all apply a debuff, right? So even
yeah,
if
Kafka's
Acheron doesn't have
signature.
it, if you apply Incessant Rain or Kafka's signature, technically you could make it work because they technically do apply a debuff, but it is definitely nowhere near as optimal as compared to her own signature Lightcone. So yeah.
Yeah, because it can
No,
give like
Topaz
infinite.
is not for Acheron. Topaz is for ally targets. Topaz is for the ally targets.
都有给敌人上 debuff 的能力。不过这些角色呢，其自身就可以挂，相对来说影响不大。但要是光追也
Yep.
属于前阵中特意强调的任意目标，那么存护光追里面。
Then this is basically the trend of the universal market. Very likely, if we are going to be pairing Acheron with a preservation class unit, then this Lightcone is going to be the best in slot because of the burn that you're going to be applying to the enemy as long as they hit the wearer, right? So some examples that
有
you
一个
can
叫
see in
做宇
mind.
宙市场趋势的就有点恐怖了。要买榜的小伙伴们，
Yep, such as Japart, probably going to be one of the best slot supports for sustains for Acheron, as well as Aventurine, or even Fire Trailblazer.
那也可以现在练起来。除了超级炫酷的终结期，
Okay, they didn't mention about Fire Trailblazer, but since they talk about it, Fire Trailblazer, the taunt, it also counts as a debuff. So, yep.
外，黄泉还有一个超帅的秘籍，从前战
It
中
is a
Oh yeah, they're
technique.
building for sure because they do
消灭敌
debuffs.
人，甚至魔女宇宙也能触
Yep,
发。
this
可
is
能
just
这就是锄地领域大神吧。而且从黄泉的技能
Rejoice
模组中
overall
可以发
farmers.
现，它似乎有点像是一个毁灭，战绩是扩散伤害，
She low-key
大
looks
招
like a
对
destruction
伤
unit.
害。从
She low-key looks like a destruction unit because her skill is a 3 target with 1 main target, and the ultimate is kind of like you choose a single target and then in the end is an AoE. So it kind of reminds them of like a destruction type targeting.
介绍的篇幅
Let
中
me
也
go
能看
to-
出来，黄泉的
Oh,
天赋
before that.
战绩
Oh, yeah,
最终
okay.
都是为了
There's a
终
talent
结
and skill.
服务的。所以
So
给黄
both talent and skill is tied to providing Acheron with as many stacks of slash dream as possible in order to increase the Acheron's ultimate uptime. Which means to say, majority of Acheron's damage output is not directly tied to the skill, right? She doesn't really care about the skill, and the talent directly is tied to the ultimate. So players who want to maximize Acheron's damage output, you should be looking to how can we make Acheron cast as many ultimates as humanly possible.
全快速充能就变成了重中之重。而
Yep,
看过
the
技能
most
手
important，point
大家一眼就肯定想到了银狼和佩拉，
Yep,
思路
so
是能
Pela
让队友充能，黄泉自己全部堆输出。
Yep, so this is basically like pretend like Silverwolf and Pella, they are like team units. They are like team units that provide Acheron energy because each time they apply a debuff, it applies a stack to Acheron, right? Which increases Acheron's damage output because now she can cast ultimate at a much faster pace.
完全不敢出手次数，辅助们的堆高速度和充能，频繁的出手和释放终结器。
So this means that your supports, they need to build high speed, high
Wait, I wonder, one thing that I need to talk about is if the weakness implant from Silverwolf counts as a debuff.
energy generation so that you can go faster and cast more ultimates. Whereas for Acheron, you can keep her to be slow. You don't really need to give her speed. You definitely don't give her energy generation. You just go all in on damage because ultimate, as long as you can cast the ultimate, you're good to go. You really don't need a very high speed on Acheron, right? So that's basically.
为黄泉攒能量。目前能上负面的辅助还是
These
有
are
不
all
少
the
的，
nitty units
所有
that
虚
you
无
can
的
pair
角
with
色
Acheron
都可以
potentially.
上低 buff。
Yeah, all
但
these
严
units
格
that
意义
can
上
apply
来说呢，
debuffs.
目前只有2个比较纯粹的虚无辅助，那就是银狼和佩拉。
Yeah, so out of all these
严格意
nihility
义上来
supports, technically the only 2 supports is considered as Pella and Silver, right? Because the rest of the nihility units, they're not really supports. They're like they're kind of like DPS because they are duty targets, and well is just well.
纯粹的虚无辅助，那就是银狼和佩拉。银狼普攻就可以上低 buff， 但佩拉不行。
Yep. So this is where Silver Wolf's basic attack can have attack down, can have speed down, can have defense down because of Silver Wolf's talent. Whereas Pella cannot mark any debuffs from a basic attack. It is only from the ultimate. Unless you equip
不
Pella
过只要带
with
上绝限
Resolution
如汉
Icon.
珠般闪耀这
Yep,
件
there
光
it
腿
is.
对一点
So
效
as
果
long as
并
you
重来
apply
保证
Resolution
命中
Icon
概
to
率，
any of the
任
nihility
何虚无
targets,
角色
then
都可以
any
普攻
nihility
上低
unit
buff
can apply
那
debuff.
除此之外，软妹的残梅战也是被视为低 buff。
Run Mace, Tanner, Totem, Reblock. Okay, the ultimate, it is also counted as a debuff. But the thing with this Run Mace debuff is that once it's applied once, it cannot be applied again when you attack an enemy. So it's only a one-time thing.
的，但是经过死水套实测发现，软妹的残梅战没有回合限制，对于一个已经有
Yeah, so as long as they have this debuff from Run Mei, they are just gonna have it. So you can't continuously stack the debuff from Run Mei.
残梅战的敌人再释放攻击，并不会和托帕的战绩一样刷新死水套的效果，也就是上一次就不会再上了。
Yep.
但黄泉的低 buff 计入和死水套是否相同机制，但还需要等到上。
This is basically Acheron's best in slot gear. Potentially right now is going to be the Pioneer set, but they need further testing to see how this debuff works exactly when it comes to synergies with the 4P set.
且实测后我们才能知道。那同时，如果宇宙市场趋势可以给黄泉叠花，那么几乎所有重库角色都会是黄泉。
Yeah, as long if the trend of universe market can infinitely stack on debuffs, which means every single time somebody attacks your preservation unit, Adventurine, Japard, 5MC, March 7th even, as long as they hit them and you give them this burn, then preservation will be Acheron's best in slot sustain class, which makes Acheron as a unit itself even more complete because now, you know, a lot of times we use it with like Huan Huan, right? But Huan Huan's energy doesn't really benefit, and Huan Huan can't use Trend of the Universe, which means you open up even more slots for more flexible team building composition for Acheron specifically, because she works so well with a preservation unit that has this Trend of Universe market like.
好队友，特别是自带嘲讽的杰帕德，
Yep,
对面
like
揍
Japard.
杰克频率越高，黄泉拔刀就越快，
Yep.
主打一个敌人越快，敌人越弱。那除了宇宙市场趋势，杰哥自带战绩也能上冰冻这个。
Japard's skill can also apply a freeze, which is also a debuff. So for the first time ever, Japard E1 owners rejoice, because this is considered as a debuff. That's crazy.
负面状态，再配合上缠点强的花火，说不定又是一个不错的阵容。
So
let me
this team
my
comp
team.
is basically suggesting you could give Sparkle with Acheron with Japard and use Sparkle to buff up Acheron's action, while Japard can also spam his skills to apply as many freeze as possible. But unfortunately, this does not cover 2 nihility units, so do keep in mind that you're not going to get the full benefits from the traces.
还有就是有点略抽象的追击阵容，因为追击攻击本身就是高频攻击的代表。如果没
This is a really interesting cook. Using follow-up attackers with Acheron. So the deal with this cook is because Doctor Ratio and Topaz, they both can also apply debuff. Right? I'm not sure if you guys remember. Both Doctor Ratio and Topaz, they can apply debuff. So it is a potential
Ratio's
cook
fine.
that you might consider running for Acheron. But once again, this team does not have any nihility teammates, so do use with your do research, right?
每次追击都能上低 buff， 那不也是完美符合要求吗？典型的只有托帕和真理。大家可能要问，真理托帕的追击也不是每次都能上低 buff， 只有放1才行啊。
Yeah, this means that you don't really apply debuff every single time with Topaz and Doctor Ratio unless you use a skill. So it's not as consistent. And then this is where they start talking about Topaz signature icon.
那这就不得不说托帕的专武了。托帕真理带上托帕的专武，那就是稳稳的低 buff。
Okay, this is where my Western audiences, you guys might get a little bit offended because in the CN community, they really talk a lot more on beyond the E0, S0. So they are not afraid to talk about the S1s across different team comps. So in this specific scenarios, they are like, just use 2 Topaz S1s. Then you can apply infinite
负面
debuffs.
不够，专武来讲。
Yep. So you guys might be offended, but you know, this is not my words. I'm just translating from CN community. So yep, let's move on.
当然了，黄泉似乎没有追加攻击，所以略显抽象。同样的抽象的还有卡夫卡加黑天。
Oh, it is the second. This is the third comp they brought up, which is Black Swan and Kafka, which we have also talked about extensively because DOTs they also consider themselves as a debuff.
的阵容，那也是高频 debuff 触发器。你问我带黑天鹅卡夫卡没有拐怎么办？黑天鹅一魂2%。
Okay, once again, they're like, okay, if you're running Black Swan and Kafka, there's no supports. What shall we do, right? Black Swan's E1 is a 25% res down.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
not my words, guys. It's not my words.
25%的减抗，战绩20.8%的减
20.8% defense reduction
回合
Ultimate 25% damage taken increase.
85%的异伤，这拐不就来了吗？
So they're saying like, if there's no supports, just get Black Swan's E1. Essentially, alright, okay, but even without Black Swan's E1, technically Black Swan still have 20% defense reduction as well as a 25% damage taken increase. And this is a very important point to take note of. This is very, very important. This 25% damage taken increase for Black Swan's ultimate, it only happens during the enemy's turn. But because Acheron's ultimate, you can use her ultimate at any point of time. Save Acheron's ultimate when it is the enemy's turn. Do not use Acheron's ultimate unless it is the enemy's turn, right? So this is very, very important. Otherwise, you would not be able to get this benefit. Which is also why Black Swan can synergize so well with Acheron, since this will take full effect whenever you use Acheron's ultimate during the enemy's turn.
Acheron just gonna jump in, basically.
回合异伤也刚好适用于以终结系为主的黄泉。当然，这两个阵容都是比较抽象的。
Yeah, so these 2 team comps, they are theory crafting. They are fuse crafting at this point, right? There's no numbers to back them out. That's why you see the goofy R faces. So do take them with a pinch of salt, right? So yeah.
时间上呢不一定能用啊，只是本就给高薪无敌的挣脱卡黑玩家找点乐子。那
So this is for basically that they are addressing to the CN whales, which is a lot of people. Like, if you guys have Black Swan, Kafka, Topaz, and Daughter ratio, feel free to experiment with this comp. But you guys can see the, okay, I'm not sure if you guys can see the cultural differences here between the CN and the Western community, but they're just funny like that. And I really like this. I really like this part. If you guys want to experiment, feel free to go ahead, right?
那除了这种一眼定真的思路，当然还有用拉条提高黄泉自己的出手次数，对物质提供少量的负面状态的思路，比如带上花火加上布鲁尼。
Oh, it is Acheron with Bronya and Sparkle. Once again, without the Nihility teammate.
让黄泉孤董靠战绩叠花，而且两位辅助呢又有很强的爆发增益。
So this is basically giving Acherons as many turns as possible, right? The Bronya give a turn, Sparkle give a turn, then just keep blocking and you just rely on Acheron herself to stack on the debuffs because every single time you can use a skill, it's gonna be a debuff.
那使用花火速度大于布鲁尼亚速度的配方，160速度布鲁尼亚。
Okay, this is nothing new to you guys by now, right? You always want to make sure Sparkle is faster than Bronya, then Sparkle into Acheron, then Bronya into Acheron, all kinds of
和
stuff.
花火可以让黄泉实现一轮3。
So this is basically if you were to use this combination, you can make sure that in one wave, Acheron can move 3.2 times. I'm not sure where the fuck the 0.2 came from, but yeah.
2动，并且再配合手法，先让花火拉条，黄泉行动完再。
Okay, this is very, very important as well. I've also talked about this in my previous videos. You can, in fact, stack Acheron's and Bronya's skill together. Because while after Bronya casts her skill on Acheron, the buff from Sparkle will disappear. But before Acheron actually gets pulled up, you can cast the ultimate before her turn actually begins. Which at this specific juncture, you gain both the benefits from Sparkle's buff and Bronya's buff. And this has been tested for every single DPS so far. Argenti, Weld, Scylla, Qingliu. So do keep in mind to make use of this trick to fully maximize Acheron's damage output.
再让布鲁尼亚拉条，在还没有进入黄泉回合前，黄泉身上的荒火爆伤 buff 还
Yep, so you can gain both buffs from Sparkle and Bronya before Acheron turns actually begin.
没有消失，
Try yourselves,
又
yeah,
吃
try
满了
yourselves.
布鲁尼亚战绩的增伤，按下大招直接来一发究极爆发。
Yep, so this is the ultimate before her turn begins, right? You cast the ultimate here, it's gonna do tremendous amounts of damage. If you cast it here, then she's gonna lose Sparkle's buff. So do it before her turn begins.
这点已经在银之的身上实验过了，是
Yeah,
完
they
全
have
可
tested
行
this with
的。
Argenti,
就不
they
知道
tested
黄
it
泉
well.
的大招伤害占比是能否支持这样的增益只覆盖大招的双拉条体系。 那除了上
This is basically saying that they are not exactly sure whether Acheron's ultimate uptime can be consistent by running only 2 harmony sustains, right? Because now she's the only person giving herself the slash streams, so it might be a bit slower compared to other utility debuffers.
能否支持这样的增益只覆盖大招的双拉条体系？那除了上面提到的靠队友拉条，或者上低 buff 来让黄泉的加速充能外，其实环境对于黄泉的
This is a very interesting point that I think needs to be talked about a little bit more, which is Acheron's ultimate uptime. It is not strictly tied to your team building, it is also tied to the environment you're using Acheron against. So,
影响也非常
I'll just
大
let them
比
explain.
如击破。
Lightning break or any break, they are also considered as debuffs. So the faster you can break an enemy target, or the more times you can break an enemy target, imagine 5 target break versus 1 target break, it will affect the amount of stacks that Acheron can get.
伤害呢也算是给对方上低 buff 了，无论是哪种击破都有低 buff。
Yep, all
那这
debuff
也意味
is
着，
from all
如果
bricks,
对面小怪越多，就可以靠着队友释放技能，频繁的打出击破，从而让黄泉快速。
The more enemies there are, the more you can rely on your teammates to deal damage and break their toughness bar to technically also apply debuffs. So for example, if they are weak to Quantum and use Fusion's ultimate to break like 5 enemies, that's 5 stacks, right? So it can also be applied to Acheron as well.
功能，比如浮轩的大招，还有一种呢就是敌人给敌人上低 buff 的情况，比如
Yep.
虫群就喜欢召唤消。
Yep, so if you are in a situation where you're fighting against True Swarm and they summon a lot of the little bugs, like I mentioned at the start of the video, they also apply debuffs. So Acheron's ultimate uptime, it is not strictly in a vacuum. You have to see what kind of enemy environments you're against to fully maximize Acheron's damage output.
小虫子死一只，那就是给一次1伤低 buff， 配合群攻的黄泉，那大招肯定会转得非常快。所以从理论上来看，黄泉比其他主线呢更容易受到环境的影响。要是对面全是那种喜欢召唤的，那就真的随便开打了。
So she's like, Acheron compared to all of our DPS so far is very, very reliant on what kind of enemies she's against. And if you put Acheron against targets like the True Swarm or like a lot of different mini mobs, you might be able to cast like 2 ultimates in a single turn, which is absolutely insane.
一些方面呢，目前我们还不知道黄泉的标记是否为低 buff， 是否能够触发负面套。如果能呢？
Yeah, so this is where we are not exactly sure if Acheron's Crimson Knot considers as a debuff for the Pioneer set, right? So there's no conclusive evidence yet.
那么肯定是负面套最优。
Yes, if it does trigger as a debuff, then it is going to be the best in slot by a mile.
负面套是目前词条最多的4件套，强度方面仅次于20减防的量子套。如果不行呢，可
So this is the little a little bit of a slight comparison. So they're saying that in a vacuum, 20% defense reduction from Genius 4-piece technically is the only set that could potentially outperform this, because 20% defense reduction is always going to be quite important. But everything else, the amount of crit value you gain here is going to be insane, especially when you stack on a lot of defense shred with Genius 4-piece. But if you cannot stack on the defense shred with Genius 4-piece, then it might not be as big of an impact. So,
如果不行呢，可能还得回头用雷套。内存的话呢，2.1有2件新出的仪器，所以最好还是等2件新仪器。
So this is where we want to wait for World 9 Simulated Universe and see what kind of effects they provide before deciding the inner 2-piece for Acheron.
上线之后再做定夺。但是新铁的仪器相对比较
So Soto is an excellent choice because of the crit rate as well as the 15% damage increase. So definitely usable.
刷到雷上球和攻击神呢，记得留一留。当然，直接把正在喝汤吃肉的警员身上让他扒。
Okay. I mean, I can guess what that means.
So if you are Jingyuan mains and this is not even my words, guys. This is not even my words. So you're saying like, if you have Jingyuan mains and you want to take away Jingyuan's Sasolo's and give it to Acheron, feel free to do so.
发现了呢，也不是不行的。光追的选择就比较明朗了。其实4星光追中呢，只有一线直上输出能用的光追。
When it comes to Force Light Coins, there's only
其
good
他
and
的呢，
stupid.
要么是击破球攻
Everything else is just not good.
型的光追，要么就是回能减防中辅助型光追，一看就不是给输出用的。所以专武之下想冲黄泉的玩家们呢，可以先把晚安升起来。而专武的属性分析呢，我们也会在官方发布黄泉动态图那天。
So at this point, that's pretty much the end of it, because at this point, this video did not wait for the official release of the recent Light Coin. They haven't talked about the Light Coin yet. So they're saying the only substitute, potential substitute for Acheron's Light Coin is Good and Sleeper. And even for Good and Sleeper, as I've seen just now, the effect from the Signature Light Coin, it is just such a massive downgrade to the point where if you guys don't want to consider pulling for Acheron's Signature Light Coin, it's going to be a very, very sizable damage decrease, right? So that's going to be that. And yeah. And with that, we've come to the end of today's content for Poki's Classroom Acheron.
I just wonder if they're actually going to release content where that amount of damage would matter. The light cone. So there's only a reason, right? Why you pull for it. But yeah, I don't know if that matters. No ruffles here, eh? No forced ally icons that I could use. You know, I'm surprised. Hey, what's up? Yeah, good. From the overworld. I'm just wondering, what was I gonna say? The... Oh my god, I forgot. Oh, it's probably not important anyway. But yeah. What was I gonna say? It was about Honkai Star Rail, definitely. I was looking at something on the side here. Let me see if I can remember. Nah. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah. Just farming Eurilo 6 for now. To break the barrels so I can get that crafting materials to craft the technique points for when acheron comes in. And when I get acheron, it's over. Every single small enemy is dying. Every day. But I need to get ready for that. All the credits are gonna be mine. But yeah, just chilling for now. Reacted a little bit to some more acheron gameplay. Nothing too crazy. But yeah. Thanks for the follow, by the way. Just noticed. But yeah, it's a little bit late, so I'm kind of like low energy. Plus, I'm just chilling, so yeah. I'm just trying to see if we could watch anything else, but it doesn't look like it really. It's kind of, man, Okazara has been so like kind of low-key dead for a while now. But I guess that's what happens every like end of patch, right? Alright, let me see if this guy's back. The big security guard. Nope. Oh man, where's my barrel? Anyway. Let me turn this up a little bit. Cool. Until I find something else. I know, I saw a lot of people talking about like Azure Promelia and like if like the upper end is gonna come out soon. I can't wait. That game looks, it actually changes everything. It's so good. Because I keep having like, I keep wanting to go back to Genshin, but it's just like I don't know. I haven't convinced myself yet. So like if I could have something to distract me, which 2.1 is gonna do that. But once I get something to distract me, then that would be really good. Oh yeah? When was the last time you played it? It has changed a lot. It's certainly like, it doesn't look that much different. In terms of like UI and stuff. But it's just like the new characters have completely changed everything. And also the new game modes and stuff like Pure Fiction. You can actually use Simi on Herta now. Without like feeling bad that you're using them. But yeah. Yeah, Supermelia. Wuthering Waves. You know, Arknight Center, I'm kind of actually excited for Arkham. That should be a good game. Again, people are just saying that it's kind of like Xenoblade, right? And I played a little bit, and I liked it. It should be a good play. What else am I excited for? You know, not gonna lie, Zelda Zone Zero. That should be good. There's no way. But we just have to see. Oh wow. Six months is a while. Let's see, why is change in 6 months? Where were we 6 months ago? Probably like 1.3 or 4, something like that. Oh, let me check. Where is? Yeah, definitely. Genshin is kinda not great. At the moment anyway. I'm gonna play when the new story comes up, but that's gonna be in a while. Well, let me see, 6 months ago, where were we? It's like kind of like Imbibe to Lene. So that's 1.3. Yeah. 1.3 we had Imbibe to Lene and Fushuan. So yeah, when those two came out. No, was it Fushuan? I don't remember. Something like that. But yeah, when those two came out, they kind of changed the game. Fushuan for sustain and then Imbibe to Lene for DPS. But then he got power crept kind of quickly by Jingliu, so that didn't last long. In 1.4, and then what else did we have? Topaz came in, she became a lot better in 1.6 when Dr. Ratio came out. What else? Yeah, Topaz with Dr. Ratio. Was in 1.5 kind of a dead patch in terms of characters with Ho-Ho, just another like, well, she's kind of like the dot sustain, which is kind of cool, but that wasn't enough for me to want to pull for her. And then we had Argenti, the Omega Erudition, but again, it was like, I don't know, for me I just put like if I like them, and for Argenti like yeah, his character recognition was cool, but it just wasn't enough really. For me to really have an opinion on him. I want me to pull him. But yeah. That was that. And then 2.0 came out, and then Black Swan came out, and she changed Dot forever. Then Sparkle. I got brainwashed by Sparkle to pull her. It was fun. That was fun. Basically, like from all the like trailers and stuff like that, I just got brainwashed because I wasn't gonna pull for her, because I'm not that much of like Quantum main, like, you know, Sila, QQ, all of that. But yeah, I just got brainwashed because she was really cool. And 2.1, acheron's coming up. I'm not definitely pulling for her, but my funds ain't looking too good, so hopefully I win the 50-50. Because otherwise it's not gonna be fun, let's say. But yeah, but I definitely have some plans for acheron. We'll see how that works out. And then when she comes out, I'm gonna be able to farm the world and get infinite credits, which means that I can finish leveling up everyone. And once I do that, I can do some like cool like comparison videos and stuff like that, I'm thinking. But I'm waiting until that time. My favorite... Wait, let me kill these guys, I forgot. My favorite character. So to be honest, it's like a... in a story like perspective, for me it's still Jingyuan. The whole like Fantilia fight was so cool. Like he just, I don't know, just sick. But in terms of gameplay, he's not. So in terms of gameplay, let's see. Who would I see? No, the thing is that there's like a couple, right? So just there's like for Dot, for example, there's Kafka. And Kafka is just sick in general. Like I really like her a lot. I even have the like, what do you call those? Like a stand with her like character art basically. That's how much I like her. Actually bought merch. And then yeah, you know, I would say Kafka. She is just the best, literally. Because of multiple reasons. But I mean, there's some close seconds. There's obviously like Black Swan. But the thing with Black Swan, I don't want to make her my favorite because in terms of gameplay, she's probably gonna fall off at some point. And in the story, we don't know enough about her yet. So still waiting on that. What else? Oh my god. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Definitely Kafka, yeah. It has to be. There's like no one else. You know, but just like saying on basing off how like they look, it would be Black Swan though. Just because, you know, imagine if, like Kafka had something like that. Or like at least like I heard like Hecton say like you could have a toggle to take the coat off Kafka. And just have like in a shirt. But that's probably never gonna happen. But yeah. Black Swan, Topaz looks really good. It's just like obviously like she looks really good, right? But her animations, like her skill and basic attack and ultimate, all that, they're kind of not great. So I'm not a fan of that. But like her as a character looks great. Then who else? Obviously, Himiko looks great for the exact same reasons. But I'm trying to think. And out of the guys, because we're talking just about the girls for now, it would definitely be Jingyang. He just looks like he looks sick. I don't know. Like his whole part in the story and all that was cool. Ruan Mei, yeah, she looks nice, but she's, I don't know, she's all right, nothing too crazy. Yeah, her definitely. Kafka. It's also Black Swan's Lightcon art. Like this was like kind of like 70 or 80% reason why I pulled for this Lightcon, just because of the art, honestly. I didn't like really care about this because like I don't really need this because I had samples at S5 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But yeah, Topaz definitely. What else do we have? Dr. Ratio, he's alright. Sila, she was really good at the beginning. Jiggly, like I get there's people that really like Jiggly, right? Like I don't get that really because it's just like better characters. Maybe, you know, if you like the whole crazy thing, I guess that's kind of cool. Ting Yun, Anya, which is really good. Yukong, you know, she's really cool, but she's like, whenever you talk to her, it's just like something depressing. It's crazy. Yeah, what's up? You can ask anything as long as it's not like too weird, obviously. Yukong. Hey, what's up? Yeah, good. Alright, we're just having a discussion about our favorite characters. And I was just thinking that basically it just kind of looks like from everyone that I pulled for, I like them basically, so yeah. That's about it. Nothing else to say about that. And I'm clearing Yarilo 6 only. So I can break the barrel, so I can get the materials for the technique point thingy. The material. No, just 5 days a week. It's from Friday to Tuesday, basically. So tomorrow's gonna be my last day, and then I'll come back on Friday. And would I be interested in getting anything made? No, not currently. It's just, you know, I don't think it's worth to get anything done right now. But yeah, I'll definitely like, you know, keep in touch if you want, if I ever reach that point, but not right now. But yeah, a little bit of just like a chill, low energy stream today, because kind of late. Yeah, after, I don't know if you see the pinned comment, I released a video on the MOC clear that I did, and yeah, that took kind of a while because I'm still like learning to edit and stuff like that, and like I try to make it funny and all that. But one, I'm not too charismatic, so that's kind of hard, and two, it just takes a while for me to do all of that. But yeah, nice. To be honest, not really. I just play. Yeah, that's cool, Olivia. Yeah. What games that I play? Yeah, play anything else. I play Honkai Star like a lot. Just again because mostly 2.1 is coming up, so I want to get ready for that. You know, get ready to make some videos on that and all that. But then on the side I also play Nikkei, another gacha game. And real games I don't really play that anymore. It's, you know, well, unfortunately, why am I playing my life for I'm too busy with other stuff. So yeah, kind of like less interested in playing video games like that, like, you know, 24/7. But you know, if like my friends ask me to like jump on like what was that game? Helldivers 2 and stuff like that. Like we played that, but not too much because they're busy as well, right? But yeah, now I'm just playing this because I really like the game. I think it's worth playing this game, so I just play it a lot. Okay, cool, so that's Yaril of 6 done. Yeah, definitely. That sounds good, Olivia. No problem. But yeah. So what do I want to do now? I don't want to do any more overworld. So I'm kind of over that at this point. So let's go back to simulated universe and let's do that. Just to get a lot more credits than you would in the overworld. And it's also more fun. So let's just do this instead. Let me see, before that, could I? Nah, it's fine. Okay, let me check that they have everything. And Bilo doesn't have her thing. That's why I nearly keep dying. I need some energy roll. Which one? I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking. It doesn't really matter. And I changed because I was doing an account review yesterday, and I changed like a couple of pieces around just to get like, you know, the max stats, just to be like, look at my high stats and all that. Well, obviously that's because I'm just switching things between the characters. So yeah, I switched a couple of these things. I need to switch it back to get the most. Yeah, just go full speed. Doesn't matter. That, and then do we have anything else? Nope. I think that's still the best thing. Yeah, that should be okay. Have a better ball, maybe? No. This rope. Yeah, I'll keep the speed rope on. Run May. Okay, cool. And everything else should be okay, at least. Yep. Yeah, cool.
Make a win.
Sounds
Just because I don't want to deal with that right now. I don't think it's that worth, to be honest. If, you know, I'll try to spend one weekend trying to figure that out, but, you know, in terms of like all of the, what do you call, like animations and stuff like that, like, you know, graphics and all that, you know, I don't feel like I'm at the point where I need that, so. But like, you know, if I blow up, then maybe. But until then, I'm just gonna stick like this, because I think it's like funny like this anyway.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Your fate is dead.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, if it's for free, then sure. But if not, then, you know, I'm not gonna go for that. So yeah. appreciate the offer though. I appreciate like all of you guys trying to come in and like, you know, basically selling all of these things, but you know, I'm just not at the point where I need that, so, or like I even want that. So yeah, currently I just want to have fun playing games and making some videos, and if people like that, then good. If they don't, too bad. I'm not,
They don't look happy.
I'm like, you know, I have a job and all that. I'm like, I'm not doing this for money or anything. But yeah.
Existence is limited. All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Skill Titans manifest.
Let me check something. Cool, and all this and all of that. Nice, okay. Oh nice, my camera just broke. Cool. Okay, hold on, will that cook a little bit? See if it comes back. I am bold? No, I don't think so. Yeah, quick question, what's up? Let's see if that did it. Yep, cool. Just a quick unplug and plug back in.
What do you want to know? Ill fate is dead.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Eternal.
Happy to
Sound
see you.
Make a
Quickly
wish.
get this.
Existence is meaningful. Enjoying yourself.
Cool.
All will be swept away by the wind.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
What is that? Okay.
Stand still.
Resistance. Cool.
Ill fate descends.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Eternal.
Okay, I don't know why I got that. It's actually useless. The stuffed toilets if I get lucky. Twice hard. Of course. Cool.
Sound.
Make a wish.
A little something for him. Does that hurt? Existence is meaningful. All will be swept away by the wind.
Right, cool.
Beneath the water lies an endless abyss.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Ill tidings manifest.
Stand still.
Okay, I've seen this video for a while now, and I want to see what this guy is cooking. Hold on.
Hey everyone.
Time to say bye. Boom.
So this guy was like super omega depressed recently. Wait, man.
Ill fate descends.
Work with me.
And Ted.
Okay.
And I made a video the other day saying, "Rip, Hoyoverse just ended my career," and I was very frustrated on stream about it. And I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about all this stuff and about Braxophone, I Win to Lose, the people that are in this this creator server. I want to talk about Gacha Smack as well because he's so handsome, and I want to talk about a few things here. Okay, so I made this video, and some of it is a bit hyperbole. It's like, yo, Hoyo just ended
Yeah,
my
a little bit.
career because they just gave access to other creators to test out the characters, play the
I mean, he's a
characters,
channel
make
with a million
different
subs. I'm pretty sure he's
characters.
alright.
Look at them. And the other issue is leaks. So I want to get into this. So Braxophone has already made a video on Acheron, 351,000 views. He made one on Gallagher now, testing it out. Has access to Gallagher early, can show if he's good, if he's not good. And so a lot of the information is already out there. Is this character good? Is this character worth your time? And so by the time I test it, by the time I use it, I understand some people don't view me as a guide maker, but any content around the character is probably less interesting because it's like, yeah, we know all about that character. So unless it was like, hey, I got 5 stars in a 10 poll, there's not a lot of content in this game that is like exciting and worth talking about other than new characters. So when other people have videos already covering everything about the characters and their light cones, it's hard to like make anything
why did I turn
transformative
all
or
those things on?
exciting or different.
Oh,
But
Don't
the
shoot.
other big issue is
I am
the
innocent.
leaks. So the Genshin Impact Reddit has 1.6 thousand
Of
people
course.
on the Reddit browsing. The leaks one has 1.6 thousand people browsing it. So it's like everyone who watches a game, plays the game, is invested in the game, is checking out the leaks. So even before
Time to say
Braxify or I Win to Lose or anyone has even made those videos, everyone knows everything about the kid already. So there's already this massive amount of hype that's lost due to leaks. But I want to talk about Gacha Smack because this is very interesting. Is he reacted to
Yeah, but
Braxiphone's video?
the thing with those leaks, right, is that you can avoid it because they're not on mainstream platforms. It's just on Reddit if you want to go see that. But the things with these videos is that you are seeing them. That's why I hate it. I just don't like that.
And I'll really quickly click on the video, but I'm scared of Hoyoverse. There's a big thumbnail on here saying Brax, and they said, hey, your video might be potentially
It's still
copyright
leaks.
claimed
Like,
if
it's
you show
bullshit.
this
You
footage.
can't tell me otherwise.
Even though it's got to be and has to be fair use. Legally, it is fair use. But the issue is, with these leaks, there's animation leaks, there's kit leaks, in HSR, in Genshin, there's so many leaks, I can't talk about them and refuse to talk about them because I don't trust Hoyoverse. I do not trust them to not shut me down or implode my channel. It's not worth the risk. So, a video on a character that probably could have got 200,000-300,000 views because they're all releasing at the same time and I'm one of the bigger creators, they get like 70,000 views because everyone knows everything about them because of the leaks that I can't talk about or refuse to talk about. And then all the other creators are already making videos on them getting hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views because of the first one to it, that it's like, even though I'm a big creator, all the hype is gone. And so when I made my video, I'm stressed because it's like, yeah, like this is terrible. But I also think that like my channel will be okay. I made this Azure Premilia, 50,000 views. I made a joke video, 60,000, a Wuthering Waves video talking about some news.
Bro,
40,000.
Emtash is so pressed, bro.
Fine,
He needs to just
transition other
chill.
games, and like I think that I can be entertaining.
I swear.
But it just feels like, dang, I feel like I'm gonna get forced out of this space pretty quick. My tier list did fine. Like, none of my videos are doing amazing right now, and that's okay. Like, we're chilling. We did really well with Genshin and HSR launch and everything. But it's just like this situation where not only do the people have the videos out and the leaks and stuff are available, but there's just the risk factor of like, if I react to it now, I could also lose my channel. And so I'm just so far behind the curve that I just feel kind of, I also feel kind of like, well, why, who gives a shit? Like, who cares about me? I know people say, oh, we'll still watch your stuff, but it just doesn't feel like a fair environment. It doesn't feel like I want to like partake in the content grind because it doesn't feel like it's like fair. You know what I mean? I feel like bitter towards a little bit, but there's also like a main thing that I want to talk about because when I make my videos saying like, yo, rip my career, I just got roasted, I just got crushed, that does not mean, and I'm going to say that again, me not having access to these characters and not being able to make these videos does not mean that Brax or I Win to Lose or whoever else making these videos is bad at all. If they did have access and they didn't make a video because they're like, oh, well, it feels dirty, I would yell at them. I would go to their door and be like, make the video, you idiot! Go get the views. They're guaranteed certified bangers that helps the community, is gonna get views, is gonna make them look better for sponsors. They should be doing this, and if I had access, I would do it too. I would absolutely be milking it. And so I'm not bitter at all towards them. 0%. I'm envious, potentially. Obviously, everyone would be. But like, it's business, baby. I critique the hell out of Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. I do it all the time, bro. I call characters terrible. I roast them all the time. They don't like me, and they're not going to like me, and that's the bed I lay in. The views that I get for my contrarianism or my negativity, that's what I traded for access to the server. At the end of the day, it would probably be way better, way safer, pay way better for me to be on the Hoyo, you know, good side. It absolutely would. But I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to pretend a character is good. And that is another thing that I want to discuss about with this whole thing. Is there's this narrative of the people making the videos have to be positive. Now, they may have to get their content vetted before they post it. I haven't seen the content and stuff, but the idea that they can't be negative or can't say things, I watched both videos. I watched the entire thing. They both say things that are negative. They say multiple things in it that are like, yeah, don't buy the light cone, or you don't need the light cone, or like things that would be viewed as negative or dissuading people from spending money. So it's not like, oh, they're in the Hoyo pocket, they're forced to be positive. No, I do not agree with that. I don't think that is true at all. And even Brax like has said stuff in the past. And so, you know, from this whole thing, I've seen some of the creators getting hate or different things, and there's this like weirdness about it all.
Hey,
so like if I go
that's
to
so
this video
weird,
that I
like,
just
why?
posted, I got early access to Path of Exile. It's not doing amazing, but I got early access and preferential treatment for Path of Exile. And there's a couple comments in here somewhere down here, that are like, oh, well, this isn't fair. You're crying about the HSR stuff, but you're doing it to the Path of Exile creators. And it's like, yes, absolutely, everyone should. If you get early access to something and you can show it off early, you absolutely should take the opportunity. I got to go to LA, play a game, got paid, I had a great time, and then I got to post a video that didn't do amazing, but I got to post a video. You absolutely should do this stuff. And so again, anyone hating on Brax or I Win to Lose or anyone, they're just dumbasses. They're just stupid. They should be posting the videos. It's my fault that I'm not in those servers myself. And they're doing the community a service. They're testing the characters early, so you can save or you can spend, and you can make your decision, do I want Sparkle or do I want Acheron? This is a help to the community more than anything. Always. 10 out of 10, 100% of the time, value. So that's kind of where I stand on it. It's like, it kind of sucks, but I know I'll be okay. It's just, you know, it's hyperbole. And like, I was in the middle of stream, got a huge bit of news, and I posted, you know, my reaction to it.
Yep.
Saying like, yo, rip. My channel just got like pumped.
It was very
Because
emotional.
It probably will impact things a bit, for sure. But at the same time, I've transitioned from game to game. When a game is hot, I make guides on it. It does well. I know that there's peaks and valleys to the business. My channel's not doing amazing right now, but like, I'm streaming right now, talking about all this. I've got 1,300 viewers. Back in the Destiny days, I'd have 100. I'd have like 80 viewers some streams. You know? Unless I was like in the middle of a tournament, I had like 200 viewers, 300 viewers at best. If I got 1,000 viewers on a stream back in the day, it would be once every like 6 months. Now, like, things have completely changed. We're doing really good with content overall. And like, I don't do as good as some other bigger creators, but like, so what? I'm still in the top 0.0001% of creators and happy with it. And I know that there will be other games, and I know that Wuthering Waves will pop off, and maybe I make like a second channel for Path of Exile. Like, who knows where we go? But I'm not gonna go, like, you know, my channel's not actually gonna die. And at the end of the day, I did so well with Genshin. I made a video on it. Like, if you guys go watch, there's a whole video on like how much money did I make from
Yep,
Genshin.
and he literally told us
and
to
all that stuff.
level our relics, or artifacts, I should say.
Don't have to
Not
worry about
bad.
anything in life. Realistically, I'm a super lucky guy, and I'm gonna end it on this because I just think it's a good thing to do. Is when I was in LA, I was riding my bicycle. Okay. Well, not my bicycle, but I rented one, and I went for a bike ride. There's your boy. I was riding my bicycle in LA. I went to Griffith Park, and I went up to the conservatory, or whatever it's called, the observatory. And while I was riding my bike, I was like, damn, I'm a lucky dude. I get to play video games and hang out with people, and I get paid to do it. And like, I'm so blessed in life, I really can't complain about everything. And I might have had like a moment of like being scared on stream and like, oh shit, my channel's dead, but it's not dead. We're chilling, we're happy, we're vibing. I'm still very lucky to do this, and I know that I'll be able to transition. But like, one afternoon, I recorded 25 ultimate tips for Genshin Impact, and it maybe took me like 2 or 3 hours of work, and this video
Man,
made
that's crazy.
$31,000 back in the day. It's like,
Shit.
I literally can never complain, ever, about if my career does well or doesn't do well, if it's up or
Bro,
down.
that's
Like,
more than
I
like a
know
year.
that
That's
it's
crazy.
maybe never going to get to this level
Way more.
ever again. But the fact that it ever got to this level, like,
Well, if you convert it from pounds
it
to
was so
dollars,
life-changing
then maybe not, but yeah.
that I'm chilling forever, and I need to just be thankful that I even have the opportunity to do this. The fact that I can even entertain or try to entertain people is a blessing, and I need to just be okay.
I mean, like, I get like
that's where I am.
him being
That's where
scared,
I'm at
right?
with it.
Because, you know, if you don't
Is-
follow trends, then that's
Yeah,
it. It's
I might
over,
not
right?
have a view here or there. I might not be the tip at the top every time. I might not be the most prompt, but the fact that I get to be here, the fact that I get to live on this earth, the fact that I've got these things, like, I'm just grateful. So, I don't know. I just had a lot of reflection this past week. I've been thinking about things, and I'm feeling good.
Man, this guy
And
just needs to chill, bro. He's had so much shit going on recently. You just need to, like, chill. Like, just make some videos and chill. Like, it's not that deep. But yeah, he like made reaction videos for a while, and those were pretty funny. Okay, I saw that I have this. Come on, let's see something. Nope, I think I'm like of like 20 something. So obviously I wasn't expecting anything, but and it's a blue. Who cares? But yeah, cool. Alright, I think I'm gonna jump off because it's late. Yeah, I just wanted to quickly come on and do all of these things. Clear your rule of 6. And, you know, just show that I'm still alive, basically. But yeah. Cool. I am tired. AF.
Hi, this is Toga speaking.
Oh, tomorrow's gonna be such an annoying day, but anyway. Cool.
Sure thing.
Yeah, tomorrow it's probably still gonna be the same time because I have some stuff to do tomorrow. So yeah, it's probably like the same shit, like clearing your real 6 and doing all of that. Also, so I've done the account review. I need to edit that a little bit and then upload it before tomorrow. And I also want to do a like, because like for Acheron, to farm the overworld, you need where is it? Need the seed and the gaseous liquid. So basically I just want to make like a guide on like the fastest way to clear the barrels that have these, because I haven't seen anyone do that, so that'll be like kind of funny video. Maybe it does well. You know, since everyone's looking to farm with Acheron, right? Wait, let me check. Is actually, oh, I wasn't even sharing my screen, but yeah, I was talking about these two. Then maybe I could make a guide on that. That'll be pretty funny. Whoa, what happened? But yeah, that would be pretty funny. But yeah, cool. Probably same time. Tomorrow. But yeah, cool. Guess I'll see you guys then. Peace.